welcome and good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to get onto this what promises to be a great webinar between LTIMindtree as well as Katalon. We have a great panel of speakers over here. As you can see, we have Hema from LTIMindtree. We have Srinivas as well. If you guys wouldn't mind just giving your quick introductions as we go through your names, that'll be absolutely fantastic. So let's start with LTIMindtree. Hema, would you like to go first and just give a quick introduction?
Thanks, Mihai, and welcome to all for this interesting webinar on Duck Creek. I am out of LTIMindtree Quality Engineering Services. I take care of automation, intelligent automation, performance testing, resilience, engineering, game testing services, as well as the alliance relationships, as well as the COE. I have over 26 years of experience, diverse experience, all more specifically in specialized testing, incubating new services and solutions, and looking forward for an exciting webinar today.
Great stuff. Thank you, Hema. Srinivasa?
Yeah, good morning all. My name is Srinivas Murugan. You can call me Murugan. I take care of the delivery for the BFSI testing division within LTIMindtree from the testing practice based out of Bangalore. And also I take care of the Duck Creek testing COE within LTIMindtree. Over 25 years of experience in the industry, around 20 years with the testing, working for different customers within the BFSI. Looking forward for an interesting session today.
Great stuff. Thank you, Srinivasa. Matt?
Yeah, hey everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Matt Sandberg. I lead partnerships for Katalon, and we're privileged to be able to work with LTIMindtree so closely in several of our joint customers, especially in the insurance industry. A little bit about myself. I've been with Katalon for about 1.5 years, and I've been working in the enterprise software space for about 15 years now. So thank you very much, and over to you, Mihai.
Great stuff. Thank you, Matt. So that leaves me to do an introduction as well. So Mihai Grigorescu, I am a director of global alliances at Katalon. I have been in the testing industry for the last 17 years or so, and so I've been fortunate to be on both sides of the delivery as well as the alliances. And I've been with Katalon for just 2 months less than Matt, I guess. And it's my role here is to manage all of our global strategic system integrators like LTIMindtree. So it's a great privilege for us to be here and to share this information with you. Thank you. With that being said, let's move on to the next slide. We'll just set the agenda for the day, and we'll talk about what we'll be showing you. Again, as I've mentioned on the chat window, please feel free to use the chat function to communicate with us. We would like to make this as seamless as possible, as interactive as possible. If you do have a question, post it on the chat box, on the general chat box, or on the questions pane. We will have a couple of polls for you throughout the presentation, so please feel free to multitask, but at the same time, you need to be on the lookout for the polls that we're going to have on Zoom here. For today, what we'll be discussing about is who Katalon is, who LTIMindtree is. We're going to discuss about a bit of our capabilities, and then we're going to deep dive together with LTIMindtree into the Duck Creek testing challenges and some of the testing best practices that they have observed with clients, and of course together with Katalon. So let's make this as interactive as possible, please. Let's move on to the next slide, please. In case, yes. So, Kamer, you are asking, are we going to get a recorded video? So yes, all videos of all the webinars are being recorded and being hosted onto the link that you see on the screen right now on katalon.com/webinars. And as you can see in there, we have actually built a good number of webinars and content for you folks. So we have the Selenium to Katalon, X-ray integration, guidewire testing, which is obviously relating to the same webinar that we have today in the insurance domain. Salesforce, today we're doing Duck Creek. Next one we'll be doing SAP testing, and then generative AI and autonomous test generation as part of our product focused webinars. And then at the bottom, you see the industry focused webinars. So that's where we actually are running with different industry thought leadership type of information and content. So please feel free to stay on today, and if you cannot, at least you will have the ability to go to the website and retrieve the recording from there. Next slide, please, Han. So with that in mind, we would want you to run our first set of polls, and please let's have a look at the screen for the first poll, which is around which types of webinars would you like to see more often of in the near future being delivered by us. Do you want to see Katalon product more, industry product more, or both? So let's give you a minute or so for people to be able to put the polls in. So thank you. I see the responses are coming through. 19, 20, 23, 45. Okay, as soon as we hit 60%, we're going to stop it. 48%, 50%. This is fantastic. People are looking at us, so thank you very much for that. Okay, almost there. 30 out of 52 participants, 59 and 60, and we've hit the mark. So thank you very much for that. I will stop the poll right now, and I will share the results with you. So let's see. It looks like 6 people have voted for Katalon products, 7 for industry, and 20 for both. So I guess the answer is obviously we're gonna build more content on both sides of the stream. So thank you for that. And let's look at the next slide, please. That's great stuff. So I think this is where I leave off to you, Matt, to do the introduction, or do you still want me to do this?
Yeah. So a little bit about Katalon. So the way that we're going to go through the webinar is we'll give a quick overview of Katalon and then get into the Duck Creek testing challenges and capabilities, as Mihai mentioned. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Katalon or maybe don't know our story that well, Katalon is a testing tool, a testing solution that provides automated testing and test management, as well as test environments for across web, mobile, API, and desktop platforms. And a little bit about Katalon, we launched the first product that we offered, Katalon Studio, in 2016, and it was available for 3 years as a free product. Originally, Katalon Studio was intended to be to help solve some of the challenges of testing with Selenium. And so, it offered a pre-built framework with pre-built libraries, a low-code, no-code interface for being able to author tests. And usage really took off. So we, originally it was for web. We added mobile, we added API, we added desktop. And then in 2019, late 2019, Katalon came out with the first paid version of our product, Katalon Studio Enterprise. Since then, we've had very, very strong growth year over year. We've now have about 2,000 paid customers globally. Customers from all over the world are using Katalon. I'll show that in the next slide. We have an incredible ecosystem of partnerships as well. And we also have a very strong focus in terms of packaged applications. So we're seeing strong adoption of Katalon for both custom systems. So, different custom systems, whether it's mobile or web, as well as enterprise apps. So Salesforce, Workday, Oracle, SAP, just to name a few, in addition to industry-specific solutions such as Guidewire and Duck Creek. Next slide, please, Mihai. So a little bit about Katalon's presence in the insurance industry. The graphic at the top of this slide kind of showcases the location of our customers around the world. So you can see about half of our customers are in North America, about a quarter are in Europe, and something like 20% are in Asia. About 60% of our customers are what we would consider enterprise, so large enterprises, and insurance is one of Katalon's largest verticals. So we have a very strong footprint in insurance, and we have over 100 clients. You can see some of the clients that we have down below. And also what's interesting is that Katalon's insurance clients are located across the globe. So not just in the US. So we're being used in places such as the US, all different countries in Europe. We have clients in India in the insurance domain, as well as Taiwan, and everything from diverse test cases from custom systems to the claims and billing applications such as Duck Creek and Guidewire. Next slide, please, Mihai. This is a slide that just talks a little bit about some of the benefits that some of our customers have talked about with Katalon. The first is Liberty Latin America. And so if some of you are familiar with Liberty Group or Liberty Global, this is a part of Liberty Global that focuses on providing communication and media to Latin America. And they estimate that Katalon has helped to increase regression test coverage by about 60% and reduce the amount of time involved in regression testing by 50%. So that was something like more than 2,400 work hours. And then Saga, which is an insurance company based in the UK, they really wanted to talk about Katalon being extremely user-friendly. So not having to have a technical skill set to be able to adopt Katalon was kind of a key driver for their team, and that they're using Katalon for Guidewire testing. And then GE is one of our large customers. They ended up adopting Katalon because we were able to cover so many different types of testing, from API to desktop to web to mobile. Next slide, please, Mihai. So a little bit about the Katalon platform in a bit more detail. So you can see the names of our products along the top, and this slide kind of represents the testing life cycle. So on the plan and author side, you can see some of the capabilities around helping to facilitate authoring test cases as well as maintenance of test cases. We also offer a test management platform called Katalon Test Ops that helps with test orchestration, test scheduling to really help you kind of optimize your regression testing. We also offer test environments. So we can execute either on local machines with Katalon Runtime Engine, or we have a cloud-based test environment that we offer that includes real devices as well as web testing, cross-browser testing, called Katalon Test Cloud. And then lastly, all of the results are consolidated in our test management platform, Test Ops. So next slide, please, Mihai. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about some of the reasons why companies choose Katalon. So you've seen all of the slides, you've seen the capabilities thus far, and really, what's differentiated about Katalon. So this slide provides a really good summary of why companies end up choosing Katalon. The first is Katalon is an open source alternative that's simpler and lower maintenance. So you don't need to have a technical skill set to adopt Katalon. We have a low code capability, but it's also nice for more experienced testers because we do offer full code capabilities as well, and features such as custom keywords, et cetera. It's an affordable alternative to legacy test automation tools. So as many of you know, there's several legacy test automation tools in the market that can be very pricey. Katalon is really focused on positioning ourselves as accessible and affordable. And you'll notice that in our price point, we're much more affordable than many of the other test automation tools in the market. It's a low-code platform. So I mentioned that previously. Multi-platform, so we cover testing across web, mobile, API, and desktop. Katalon provides a robust ecosystem of DevOps integrations pre-built. So I think we have over 50 pre-built integrations now. Somebody posted this the other day, which was Katalon has a track record of 6+ years in the market and over 120 million test cases executed. I saw that stat and I was very impressed. again, easy to find, try, and buy, and so on and so forth. And then we've added a lot of AI augmented capabilities, and that's also a key focus area for our near-term roadmap. So a lot of exciting things coming from Katalon, and I think that's the end of my section. So I'll hand it back to Mihai to conduct another poll. Thank you.
All right, great stuff. Thank you, Matt, for showing us all those useful pieces of information. Now let's go to the next poll. So the next poll is around, oops, give me a second. Poll 2. Let's launch the second poll, which is around, let's ask you, what technologies and applications have you seen predominantly being used in the insurance industry? So Guidewire, Duck Creek, Sapien, Majesco, Insurity, or anything else. I know that there's a lot of other consultancies out there that are building their own, KPMG, Accenture, etc. But the most, let's see. Oh, there we go. Interesting results coming in. But the most widely used being the first top two. And just like that, we see Guidewire and Duck Creek taking first place. Okay, so we're at 50% participation. Let's give it another few seconds. They're not specified. Okay, that'll be great. So for the people who have responded other not specified, could you kindly just share the name of those applications that you've seen in the chat window, because we're very interested in seeing what you are experiencing in the market, and also just to get a conversation going and the flow going in the chat. All right, so we've hit the 60% mark. Let's share the results. As you can see in here, we have obviously Duck Creek and Guidewire being head-to-head in the competition for the first spot, followed by Sapien, then Insurity, then Majesco, then Homegrown Solutions, and then others not specified. So please, let's just get those names of those accounts, of those software vendors or technology solutions in the chat box if you can, please. Thank you. And with that, we will now go to Hema and Srinivasa. So folks, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Mihai. So good evening, good morning. Thanks for taking your time to attend this very interesting and engaging session that we have been going through. I'll be briefly covering about LTIMindtree, which is a new kid on the block. For those of you who don't know, we had two different, entities called as LTIMindtree and Mindtree. Over the last 2.5 quarters back, we merged as of November 14th and became one of the largest GSI. We are located all over the world. Next slide, please, Mihai. And the parent company is basically L&T, which is an engineering and manufacturing company. And with this, LTI, Infotech, and Mindtree having coming together, it's like two giants, and servicing, across the client, across the globe, across all verticals. A parent company is around 21 billion annual revenue. We are one of the largest engineering and construction firm. Widely respected in India with over 80,000 years of experience. Moving on to the next slide, given that we are digitally born, next slide please, about 20 years back, with LTI coming together, we are over 84,000 people servicing across banking, insurance, manufacturing, CMT, telecom, energy utilities, and many media and entertainment and so on and so forth, with our annual revenue being over 4 billion. And we have a large presence in US, and a significant presence in EMEA and continental. And, we are also having a good presence in APAC, Middle East, as well as in ANZ region. The previous slide, Mihai. I also wanted to let you know is that, we have a very, customer-oriented approach understanding what the client's pain points is and how the industry is shaping up in the client in which the industry is working on, and our driven design thinking approach, given that everybody is moving to agile or DevSecOps or whatever it is. So pretty much that's what we have been doing it. We have a combined strength of over 750 clients across the globe, and have very some of the very large customers like Microsoft, Citibank that we are servicing. Moving on to the next slide, we have a very focused, centralized group. This is spread our presence across the world. You name it, we are there. And we have about 16 plus offices and 90 deliveries within India, and also satellite centers. So, the ease of working at the nearest place is also there. But now that we have a hybrid approach, this is one of the key strengths that LTIMindtree offers as well to all our associates. Moving to the next slide, LTIMindtree has a dedicated quality engineering practice, which is, over close to 85% of our, associates or engineers are all working on specialized testing, which could be in hyper automation, intelligent automation, specialized, or rather apps, enterprise apps, performance engineering, resilience, game testing, and so on and so forth. And we are rated as one of the things, and you can see some pretty good ratings. We are on the quadrants. Over 400 plus clients that currently we are servicing. So with our services ranging from advisory consulting to intelligent automation, connected universe, which is nothing but IoT, autonomous vehicles, and so on and so forth, big data, data warehousing, and things. We are a techno agnostic as well as tool agnostic. We pretty much have all the tools and experience things. And there is a lot of focus and emphasis on enabling our associates on technology, process, tools, as well as on soft skills, and also driving certification. We have very good strategic partnerships with many of the leading partners, including Katalon, and also with some of the leading products like Duck Creek, and so and many of the banking and other products as well. So moving on to the next slide, we have one of the largest practice on test automation, which is more focused on intelligent automation and AI related stuff, cutting across all the verticals, be it on life sciences, be it on energy, be it on insurance, be it on utilities, be it on media entertainment. And we have our offerings covering on consulting, AI/ML testing, low code, no code, and gamification and interactive experience testing, autonomous, and very much strong governance with metrics driven. And we have a lot of AI/ML related cognitive tools that has been developed given our vast experience that we have across different clients. Leveraging those experiences and projects delivered, we have come up with multiple tools, which is actually helping many clients jumpstart on, and not just reduce an effort, but also increase the quality, coverage, as well as, speed to market is what I would say. Today, moving to the next slide, we'll be quickly covering not just the challenges of our Duck Creek experience, but also what, based on our experience and the challenge that we face, we've also come up with developed a proprietary test automation framework that caters to testing the Duck Creek platform. Please do share any questions, and we'll be more than happy to share across, and also the savings that using our framework, that we can leverage in implementing the testing. Go ahead. Over to you, Morgan.
Thanks, Seema. Able to hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. We have a gold platinum partnership with Duck Creek as a vendor, and we have been working with Duck Creek for many years on either the Duck Creek policy, billing, claims, or the distribution management systems across different lines of business or products, what you call, right? The commercial or specialty or personal lines, some of the lines of business is mentioned there in this slide. With respect to the testing offerings, that is mentioned in the bottom. What is the service offering? We have extensive experience in testing the full suite application, that is all the products of Duck Creek, that is called policy, billing, claims, or any of the Duck Creek upgrade, version upgrade that we do, or implementing on the end-to-end automation using Katalon or any other automation framework. That the few that I wanted to call out on the service offering. And we do have done the testing on the performance as well as the securities, and the Duck Creek data insights, that is the data and ETL testing component. That also we have large experience in testing for some of the customers. And also on the the bottom right hand corner, we mentioned about some of the tools and accelerator. We will discuss in detail in the subsequent slide, but one thing that I just wanted to call out is the the reusable test artifacts or the test scenarios that were built in for the last 3-4 years. That is giving a jump start in any of the Duck Creek implementation that we have worked on. We will discuss about some of the accelerators as mentioned here in the subsequent slides. Moving on to the next slide. Yeah, this slide talks about the key challenges in testing a Duck Creek application. I will not go through each and everything. Just to call out on the first point is about how do you test the different forms that is generated from the Duck Creek policy admin system. Now, both static and dynamic forms we have. A static form is not the plain vanilla content, and dynamic is that we have dynamically changing variables as well as the static content. How do we test it? That is one main challenge that we face when we test a Duck Creek product. So we have used Katalon framework for the PDF or the forms automation. Using the golden copy method, where you compare the current version of the PDF that is generated with the previous versions of the PDF that is generated, to see if there is a difference between the two versions, and then automate it. So that is what is one thing. The last one on the skill set, right, on the people and the skill set, and I just wanted to talk with more and more people focusing towards having 100% in sprint automation and doing a shift left of the testing. The skill set that is available in the market is one major challenge that we force. We require people with both automation as well as insurance domain knowledge, that is the product testing knowledge on the Duck Creek as well as the automation knowledge. The one way we have addressed this challenge is to see how can we cross train the people on the Katalon or any other automation tool that we use for automation. So in tie-up with the Katalon, the Katalon provides 3 levels of certification. Now the professional, practitioner, professional, and expert levels of certification. Most of our Duck Creek testers have been oriented towards this training program to help them upskill from manual testing to the automation skills over a period of last couple of years. The last thing that I wanted to call out is with respect to the ISO upgrade. Whenever there's a changes to the ISO upgrade, there needs to be a lot of regression testing that needs to be done. So for one of your large customers, it is using the traditional ways of automation scripting using UI level of automation. It was taking around 5 to 6 days to complete the entire regression test route, right? So using we have come up with an accelerator. We'll talk about that accelerator in the subsequent slide. Using that accelerator, what we have done is we have used the APIs, the Duck Creek APIs, to automate the policy creation process and the ratings and verification and validation. Using this accelerator, we are able to reduce this regression testing timelines to about 5 to 6 hours. So that was very useful whenever we do an ISO upgrade. When you talk about ISO upgrade, the ISO releases around 75 to plus changes every week, and it takes roughly around 6 to 9 months for anybody to go through the changes, understand the changes, make the code changes in the the relevant upstream systems like Duck Creek, and then test it and then roll it out to the production. So roughly it is different customers might take somewhere around 6 to 9 months duration to test this entire changes. So with the amount of changes that is coming in on a weekly basis, this is the proprietary framework that we have developed to reduce the regression testing timeline, right? So how this framework works, just to explain 2 minutes on this framework. This is a configurable framework that we have implemented. What we have done is we have written wrappers around the Duck Creek APIs. Duck Creek exposes APIs for different business process like creation of the policies, rating and everything. So what we have done is we have written wrappers around this Duck Creek APIs and to get the data in a particular format, so that we can use it to retrieve the data from the core Duck Creek system and then use it for our verification and validation of the ratings and the premiums that is coming from the Duck Creek engine. Some of the APIs that we have written is showed on the left hand side. Basically, we're talking about the first one is the create code, and second one is to update the code with any of the parameters that is there. The third one is the rate parameter, rate API that we use to retrieve the the rates from the Duck Creek engine. The fourth one is the issue policy, API that we have written that will issue the policy. The last one is the compare premium. Like it will use the golden copy concept in the sense like it will compare the it will compare the ratings, the premiums with the previous versions of the code, and then show you the difference between if there's any difference in the ratings or the premiums that is coming out. So for one of the large insurance companies based out of US, we have implemented this framework and across multiple LOBs or products, and it is also implemented for day one and day two transactions that we do in Duck Creek. And the key benefits that is highlighted in the below, it was able to save about 90 to 80% of the regression testing timelines for the ISO upgrade. So that is the key benefit that it has delivered, and we have used Katalon here for the automation of the APIs. For the different APIs that we have written, we have used Katalon for the API automation. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Okay, so what we have done in this slide is we are trying to map the functional areas with the different features Katalon is providing. Some of these features I think is touched upon in the previous slide. The key, I'll just call out 2 or 3 things that there's different, unique in this thing. One is the continuous changes to the Duck Creek UI, right? So if you are to make any changes to the Duck Creek UI as a part of your BAU or as part of your development, once your automation script is developed, we need to make sure that your automation scripts are getting changed, right? So Katalon is coming up with a self-healing concept where it will self-heal those automation scripts. So the amount of effort that is required to fix your automation script is very minimal, right? So that is one major feature that I wanted to call out. And the last one I just wanted to call out on this slide is on the Duck Creek data insight. Either we use a Duck Creek data insight for the data that goes from your policy billing or claim system to your to the data warehouse. Either it can be a in-house data warehouse that we use for Duck Creek data insights, or it can be an external data warehouse that we have. So we have to do an ETL automation. So we have LTIMindtree has come up with the accelerator that is used for ETL automation, where it will compare the data between the source and targets, and then it will easily tell you, where are the differences. So it will compare each and every row and each and every column in your source and target, so that when you do an ETL testing, so it will be useful for us to use this accelerator. I think the remaining things, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We'll move on to the next slide. we have just called out all the benefits that we have got. No, we have summarized it. No, using some of the accelerators what we have got. As I told, using the headless Duck Creek automation framework, we are able to now reduce your cycle time for regression testing to about 70 to 80%. Some of the reusable accelerators that we have got as they reduce some of the other timelines with respect to the overall effort savings or test coverage, those kind of things, right? So this slide is, summarizes the benefits, and that's the end of my presentation. So over to Han for the next thing.
Well, actually, Srinivasa, before you go off, there's a question from Sumit Chabra. So LTIMindtree is using Duck Creek Anywhere APIs for testing the whole regression testing and covering the end-to-end flow for policy creation, is it? So can you just expand a bit on that for the purpose of this question, please?
Sure. Yeah, we can expand it. So this is the Duck Creek APIs that is there, but we have written a code around those APIs. It's not a plain vanilla API that Duck Creek is exposing. So we have written a custom code around it to render the data in a particular format so that we can use it for our regression testing purpose. It's a minimum effort it takes to write some wrappers around the existing APIs.
All right, great stuff. Thank you, Srinivasa. All right. And the other question from Sumit is coming also again here. So the 80% effort saving is coming from the API automation?
It is a combination of multiple factors that I will say. So what we are looking at is instead of going through the UI, right? If you go through the UI, it is going to take 5 to 6 days. Since we have to run more than hundreds of automation scripts. Instead of using the UI part, we are using an API part to create those API the policies. So that is where you're saving the effort saving of 70 to 80% is. We are changing the approach to automation from traditional UI automation to API automation. So that is the main reason why we are able to save that much time.
Gotcha. All right, thank you. So Han, we're ready for the next slide. Oh, we're in the Q&A section portion already. Okay, great stuff. So on this note, I'd like to thank Srinivasa and Hema for the presentation and for the details. And I would like to invite the people on the call to start asking your questions. Okay, there we go. There's another question coming through on the chat now from Vipin. What's the advantage of having Katalon Test Cloud over Sauce Labs? Matt, do you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So for Katalon customers, if you have automation scripts that are developed in Katalon, then the experience of scheduling, basically it's a fully integrated experience when it comes to scheduling your test runs and your execution environments straight from within the Katalon console. So there's no integration to set up. Everything comes fully integrated in a single platform with Katalon Test Cloud versus with Sauce Labs. It's a completely separate interface with a separate platform, and you have to set up the integration. So I think that's kind of the primary advantage, is that it's really built for Katalon Test Cloud is built for customers who have written test scripts in Katalon and optimized for those customers.
Thank you. All right, and there's another question from Sumit, which I believe will be for Srinivasa. Do we have the validation check on APIs for the fields?
Yeah, all the validations that we have to do with respect to the fields, different fields, the payloads. We have all the checks and balances done as a part of your API automation. Yes.
Great stuff. Thank you, Srinivasa. All right, there's another comment from Sumit, but it's not really a question, so we'll just leave that as a comment. So let's ask again the people around. Have you do you have any questions right now that you would like to tackle? Okay, Vipin is also asking if we have any support for browser canary version automation with Katalon. Browser canary version. I'm not sure I follow that. Right.
Yes.
There's another.
We'll have to get back to you on that one, Vipin.
Okay. And there's another question, which is actually a good question now to discuss about any training plan for Katalon test automation tool and certification support. So, Matt, let me take that one then. So folks, Katalon is not a traditional, does not follow a traditional certification courseware and exam. So you don't have to go and study a whole week for a course and then write an exam. We actually use a flight time model. So all you have to do for Katalon is to download Katalon from the website, register on our website, on the Academy, and on our website, of course, which takes you not even 5 minutes. And then everything that you do will count towards your certification. So everything that you design, execute in Katalon has some specific requirements to achieve the 3 levels of certification, whether if it's practitioner, professional, or expert. And then once those requirements are met, you will achieve those levels of certification as you design and execute on the tool. And then that certification will become available to you to link to your LinkedIn profile as well. So it's very easy to use. It can take anywhere between a few hours to a couple of days to maybe a couple of weeks to get all 3 certifications. And it's all for free. It's all done online. And there's nothing you need to do extra to achieve that. And yes, Matt has posted the certification information over there. Now there's another question here from Sumit, which I'm going to address which I'm going to point to Srinivas again. How are we validating rating in DC using Katalon?
Yeah, so the tool, the framework or the accelerator that we showcase, that can be used, for testing your rating, because at the end of the day, you are using the APIs and then with the different combinations of the input criteria, creating different policies and then trying to test your premium, and it will give the breakup of the premiums also by the different rating parameters. So it can be used that is one way. The other way is to look at traditional ways of testing your rating using the accelerator. We have all the parameters for a typical line of product that is mentioned given in an Excel sheet, and then you key in the same thing in the system and then check your premiums and the rating parameters, and then check whether both the parameters are matching. So that is a traditional way of doing things. Then we do have one more accelerator that we have got where it will take all these traditional input parameters and use the Duck Creek APIs also to feed in the data and get the rating parameters quickly also. So these are 3 different ways that we can validate the ratings on the Duck Creek. Either we can use Katalon or any other automation tool that is available in the market for the rating testing.
Okay, that's great. And also just remember that I think that it wasn't mentioned before, but actually it was mentioned in passing. So Matt mentioned earlier that we do have strong capabilities in AI. Those capabilities at the moment with Katalon revolve around smart waiting time, self-healing, and also visual testing. So also very important thing to know is that visual testing is offered for free as part of Katalon. So it's just like Apply tools, but obviously for free. And it's also pixel content and layout based comparisons where we do the actual comparison between the different web UIs. So you can use that at all point in times, especially for an application like Duck Creek to enhance your testing. Any more questions as we head out in there?
Yeah. One other comment on AI that I wanted to mention is that just last week, Katalon introduced an enhancement to our Jira integration, which is available on the Atlassian marketplace, and I'll post for everyone shortly, which enables you to it uses GPT and can automatically build manual test cases based on requirements in Jira. So check that out if you're using Jira and you're interested in AI-based test case generation or manual test case generation. It's pretty cool functionality.
Great stuff. That's a good point. Thank you, Matt. And there's another question from Vijay Kumar. Does Katalon support CI/CD pipeline integration? Yes, 100%. We support all the big names. As Matt mentioned, we have a DevOps ecosystem with over 50 integrations already available, already immediately. And because of our open API policy, we can actually integrate with anything else that's not available today. But Jenkins, ADO, everything that, all the large brand names are already there available as of today for CI/CD pipeline integration. And then the other question is from Sumit back to Srinivasa. As there are multiple upgrades coming for Duck Creek, is this automation suite able to handle the upgrades at a manuscript level?
Give me a minute. I'm just going through the question. There are multiple guidelines. See, when it comes to testing, I think it should be able to handle it. Given that after the upgrade, right? After the Duck Creek upgrade, if there are any changes to the API that is there, we might have to update those APIs. If there is no changes, the APIs are not impacted, I think you can use it. At the manual script level, I don't have an answer to that. I can check and come back to you. But given that we are using API for testing, I think we should be able to test those APIs if there is multiple upgrades also.
Great stuff. All right. Great. So that gives us an end to the questions that we have in the chat box. So last call out for any other questions before we finish off here, please. Okay, Sumit is asking anything for claims. I'm not sure what that means, but it's probably what do you support? How do you support with your framework and our tool set? How do you support the claims?
Yeah, I think any of the Duck Creek claims systems, I think we can use Katalon for automation. That is supported still.
Great stuff. All right, so folks, as long as there are no other questions, I've launched a poll here for the end of the webinar. And on this note, as you mark your satisfaction levels with us, please, I would like to extend a warm thank you and heartfelt, sincere gratitude to Hema, to Srinivasa, and of course Matt for hosting this webinar and providing all of you folks with all this great information. So if you do have questions, you know where to find us. If you do want to revert back to seeing the webinar, you do have the website link already available to you. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us, and hope you have a great rest of the day.